What really happened behind the moment that made Anita Ekberg one of the most talked about women in cinema history, and why does the internet still twist her story into something more shocking than reality? A headline like "Anita Ekberg goes topless" grabs attention instantly, but the truth is far more cinematic, far more artistic, and far more human than any viral rumor could ever explain. And once you understand the real moment behind the myth, you may never look at old Hollywood fame the same way again. To promise you the truth, we have to step back into a different era, when cinema was slower, more glamorous, and far more mysterious. Anita Ekberg was not just a screen presence, she was a symbol of European elegance and Hollywood fascination. With her towering presence and unforgettable beauty, she became the kind of figure directors didn't just film, they built moments around her. But fame like that comes with something heavier than applause. It comes with distortion. And sometimes, it comes with stories that mutate over time. The moment most people are really referring to happened in Federico Fellini's legendary film La Dolce Vita. In one of the most iconic scenes in film history, Ekberg steps into the Trevi Fountain in Rome, dressed in a flowing strapless black gown, illuminated by cold night water and city lights. It was not a scandalous act, it was pure cinema. A carefully crafted image of beauty, freedom, and longing. Yet decades later, the nuance of that artistry often gets replaced by sensational headlines that don't reflect what actually happened. As you watch the story unfold, you start to realize something deeper is going on. Why do we keep reducing iconic film moments into clickbait phrases? Why does a carefully directed scene of artistic expression get transformed into something misleading and provocative? The emotional conflict here isn't about Anita Ekberg at all. It's about how memory gets reshaped when filtered through modern attention-seeking culture. Back then, Ekberg didn't just face admiration, she faced intense public scrutiny. Hollywood didn't always know what to do with women who carried both strength and beauty so naturally. She was celebrated, yet also boxed into expectations she didn't fully control. And like many stars of her time, her image slowly became something the world argued over, rather than understood. The real turning point in understanding her legacy comes when you stop focusing on the rumors and start focusing on the atmosphere she created on screen. That fountain scene wasn't about exposure, it was about liberation. A woman stepping into water, into light, into a moment that felt almost dreamlike. It was cinema capturing emotion, not scandal chasing attention. But emotional tension builds when you realize how easily that meaning gets lost. One misleading phrase online can erase decades of artistic intent in seconds. And if it can happen to Anita Ekberg, it can happen to anyone remembered through fragmented digital memory. So, what are we really consuming when we click on these headlines? Truth or distortion dressed as entertainment? At the emotional peak of her legacy, what remains undeniable is not controversy, but impact. Ekberg became immortal not because of scandal, but because she helped create one of the most visually poetic scenes in film history. That image of her in the fountain still lives, still inspires, still speaks without needing exaggeration or false framing. And the lesson is simple but powerful. Fame is fragile when handled by rumor, but legacy is stronger than any headline. The internet may reshape stories, twist words, and chase attention, but it cannot erase what was truly created in art, in performance, and in emotion. So when you hear a sensational claim attached to Anita Ekberg, pause for a moment. Because behind every viral distortion, there is often a real human story, one filled with creativity, pressure, beauty, and meaning far greater than any single word designed to make you click.